Hello again. I begin, as I so often do, with a wee question for you. Do you follow the football at all? I have to confess, I don't. If I was asked to name some famous footballers, the list might feature Diego Maradona, Cristiano Ronaldo, Ali McCoist, and who could forget wee Jimmy Johnstone. One that sticks in my mind from childhood is the great Ferenc Puskás of Hungary. So my knowledge, as you can see, is woefully lacking and actually quite dated. There's one football player whose name is on just about everyone's lips at the moment, and that's Marcus Rashford, a young Manchester United player of just 22 years of age. Actually, he'll be 23 on Halloween. He has become famous as much for his football skills as for campaigning for social justice. Back in June, he observed that many children depended on free school meals and were likely to go hungry during the long summer holidays. He campaigned to have free school meals made available to them in the holidays and was successful in getting the government to fund this. Now the campaign has kicked off into life again, with the half-term holidays starting and with the Christmas holidays on the horizon. But this time, the government has refused to fund the provision of free meals in the holidays, and this has created quite a bit of debate, shall we say. Now, there's a lot to be said on either side of this, but the fact is that 3 out of every 10 children in the UK are living in poverty. And for those children, their free school meal is often the only square meal they get. Teachers speak of children coming into school on a Monday hungry because their family hasn't enough money to feed them adequately over the weekend. And of course, that's a situation made much worse by the school holidays. One of Jesus' favourite topics was the kingdom of God. A kingdom that turns the values of this world upside down. In the kingdom of God, God always stands with the poor against the rich, with the hungry against the well-fed. In the kingdom of God, systemic poverty does not go unaddressed. In chapter 25 of Matthew's Gospel, we learn that there's only one criterion which determines who will enter the kingdom of God. And it's this: how we treat the hungry, the naked, the homeless, the prisoner, and the stranger, those whom Jesus called the least of these. I take my hat off to young Marcus Rashford. In a way that is both simple and direct, he has reminded us of that truth and has inspired all of us to be advocates for social justice. But I leave the last words not to Marcus Rashford, but to St. Matthew. A reading from the 25th chapter of his Gospel. When the Son of Man comes in his glory, and all the angels with him, he will sit on his glorious throne. All the nations will be gathered before him, and he will separate the people one from another, as a shepherd separates the sheep from the goats. He will put the sheep on his right and the goats on his left. Then the king will say to those on his right, "Come, you who are blessed by my Father, take your inheritance, the kingdom prepared for you since the creation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you invited me in. I needed clothes, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you looked after me. I was in prison, and you came to visit me." Then the righteous will answer him, "Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you something to drink? When did we see you a stranger and invite you in, or needing clothes and clothe you? When did we see you sick or in prison and go to visit you?" The king will reply, "Truly I tell you, whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me." Truth to live by today and always. God bless you. Bye for now.